Good afternoon, it's your big homie Chuco Sam. I'm from Houston, so a lot of people ask me, "Hey, what's up with the SPM? So what's the word? I mean, is he gonna get out? Is he not gonna get out?" Because I know a lot of places, a lot of other states, you find out right away. It used to be like that here, but laws change and stuff. I was looking online and there's conflicting stories. I've seen some sites say it takes 6 weeks. I've seen some sites say 2 weeks, 30 days, 150 days. I don't know. But what I do get is it's going to take time for them to review it and then make a decision. And then once they do that, then they'll release it to the public. I haven't looked as of yet on the online, on the Texas Parole website. I looked like a few days ago, but I haven't really checked. I haven't really been keeping up with it. But it's going to be interesting to see because, well, everybody wants to know, is he going to get out or not? Especially his fans. His fans are like waiting for him to get out so he could like take over the world and conquest and world domination, wherever the fuck he's talking about. When he does his little interviews and shit, right? And others don't want him to come out at all. See, that's the thing. If any of the victims or any of the family of the victims or any advocates against that kind of stuff wrote to the parole board, they're going to take all that into consideration. I knew there's a couple people out there, there was a couple groups out there, they put in a change.org petition to release him, and then there was another group that put another petition for him not to be released. So maybe that's what they're reviewing. They're reviewing to see if he's really remorseful, if he's going to take accountability. Because those are requirements when you do a parole. There's no way around that shit. He's going to have to convince him really, really hard that he's changed, that he took classes, that he took some kind of course or something. That he did something while he was in there to change his ways, basically. And he's gonna have to like, I don't know, it's gonna be interesting because if he doesn't admit guilt, they're not gonna take him serious. They're gonna keep his ass in there. And they don't give a fuck. Because he's just another number to them. They're just going to keep making more money off of him. The longer he's in there, the more money the prison system makes, Especially nowadays, most of these prisons they're privately owned. They're businesses. So the longer you're in there, the more money they make. So they don't give a fuck about whether you get out or not. It's going to be interesting because, I mean, to me, personally, if he gets out or not, I don't give a fuck. If he gets out, then that's what the courts decided. That's fine. 23 years is a long fucking time. Even for a child molester. He's lucky that they gave him 45 because they really wanted to throw... If you go look at the court documents, they really wanted to give him 99 years. Because he fucked up. Not because he didn't take the plea deal. See, they didn't give him a plea deal. That's a fucking lie. There was never no plea deal. The thing was, he posted bond. While he was out on bond, he broke his bond. Okay? See, he broke his bond by going out while he was out on bond, basically. And they went and picked up 2 14-year-olds. And they got popped. They got busted. And he took his bitch ass back to jail. So that was part of the thing. Hey, you broke your bond, man. There's stipulations on that shit. You're gonna have to do 45. That's how you got to 45. not because of a plea deal, not because of a drug test, which he wrote in his book. Now he's telling people that he did 2 bumps of coke. That's how he broke his bond. Because he did a drug test and he failed. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So there's two stories to that now. Now he's saying, at first he was saying that it was because he was Mexican. And they knew that he was about to take over the country or some shit. And he was too powerful. And he was anti-police. And he was some kind of gangster. That fool's not a gangster, man. I don't know what to tell you fans of SPM. No matter how gangster his songs sound, that fool's not a gangster. He's not a fucking Frank Nady and shit like that. You know, he tells you stories that the FBI was after him and they were chasing him with helicopters and they were on the roof, snipers on the roof of Dope House Records, ready to take him out and this shit and that. I don't know what kind of fantasy world homeboy lives in, but none of that shit ever happened. Same thing with the story with Jill. First she was a stripper. Then she lied about her age. Then she wasn't a stripper. Now he's telling Mo Hustle that the little girl's mom lied to him, told him that she was 17. Which is bullshit because the parents are the ones that didn't want him to marry her because he was already married to somebody else. Imagine you're at home and your 13-year-old daughter says that she's pregnant and she's pregnant by a 22-year-old that wants to marry her, but he's married. What kind of shit is that? That's not normal. That's the shit you motherfuckers support. His fans, at least. He did that shit. The same thing with the 9-year-old. See, this dude's all kinds of weird, man. This dude's all kinds. He's not innocent for shit, man. The people out there, his fans. Well, there's no evidence. Yeah, there was no physical evidence that he went down on a 9-year-old, shit like that. They didn't do a saliva kit or nothing like that, or a rape kit on the little girl. But there's other evidence, even though if it's circumstantial, that shit fucking, it builds like a profile, man. Red flags come up. With the 9-year-old, he, not only did he molest her, he was fucking her mom. Wow, his best friend, the little girl's dad, was in prison. Probably for some real gangster shit, not no chomoing. See, that's the thing, man. Real gangsters, they don't touch kids. Okay? Real gangsters don't talk about a life that they don't really live. Unless you're Rick Ross or SPM. Or you live in some kind of fantasy world or some shit. He's not a G. He's not a real gangster. He's a gangster in his imagination and in his songs. Maybe, you know, that's a character he plays or whatever. But in real life, he ain't shit. He wasn't taking over the world. He wasn't conquering shit. He made a few hits. He was doing good. He was up there. He could have fucking made something of himself. I mean, shit, his records are still selling. I don't know why. To me, his music's always been trash. I'll be honest with you. None of his fucking songs, I don't like none of his fucking songs. They never talked about shit about La Raza or nothing like that. I'm more into Chicano rap. I don't know what kind of rap that is. Down south or some dirty south. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. But, you know, that's a personal opinion. But, you know, I'm just being straight out. I never did like that fool. There was just something I didn't like about him. You know, he gave out bad vibes. He's just a bad person. And don't get me wrong. I did listen to a couple of his songs when they first came out. Back then, pass, you know. I didn't like them. You know, I gave it a chance, you know. Even when they came out with that bullshit about the 9-year-old girl, I believed he was innocent. I'm like, why would he do that if he got all this money, you know, all these women and shit? Turns out that that's just the way he's always been. It's a pattern. Just the other day, Mohasso said that he found out that Jill wasn't the first 13-year-old, 14-year-old that he picked up. Somebody came forward and told Mo that this is a new person now that just came out this year. That when she was 13 or 14, SPM used to pick her up from middle school too. So now you got two women that claim that he was picking them up from middle school and fucking them when they were 13 or 14. You know what I'm saying? For people to be dropping out, none of his homies, none of the original people from Dope House are at Dope House anymore, man. You might see shadows sweeping and shit like that, walking around. Juan Gotti claims that he's not there, but Juan Gotti's Juan Gotti's weird, man. Okay? First, he said he didn't like none of them motherfuckers anymore. He was going to disassociate with them. He wasn't going to the Day of Unity, but he still shows up at the Day of Unity. Bunch of drama over there. I don't know. I don't know if they need that paycheck. If that's the case, then I understand. Money's money. But there's no loyalty there. Nobody really likes SPM. They just don't want to admit it. Because they need them for some reason. They need that check. I don't know. They need them to do their music and shit. I don't know. Because even his own sister got fired. SPM, I think at some point he fired his own sister, Sylvia. Come to find out. See, I didn't really know all this shit until I started digging. I didn't really start digging until recently because I really didn't give a fuck. I had forgot all about SPM for like, I don't know, a long ass time. But then he keeps making himself relevant. He has his people over there at Dope House, these youngsters working social media, putting all this content, putting all these new songs on TikTok and Instagram and all this shit and that, just to keep him relevant. And you know, it's working. He's selling records. His music is like at the top of the charts. But another thing too, that is that if he knows he's not getting out, if he knows he's not going to admit guilt, if he's gonna keep playing that same fucking story that he's not guilty, that he was set up, and he knows that he's gonna ruin his chances and he's not gonna get out on parole, but he's telling his fans differently, that's bullshit. That means he's lying to his fans. He's keeping them up on a little string. Because there's people out there that love this guy. Why the fuck do they love him? I don't know. But there's people out there that are actually waiting for him. They fucking got velas and shit lit up for him. They can't wait till he gets out so he can fucking suck his dick and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he can kiss his fucking ass and put him up on the altar. There's people out there like that. It's like a cult. A cult of chomos. You know? I mean, I don't know. What's wrong with people, man? See, you know, like I said before, he could have beat that case for the 9-year-old. Because there was no evidence. He's right about that. He's telling the truth about that. There was no evidence. He could have beat that rap, but no, what did he do when he was out on bond? He was out on bond waiting a trial for that case. When him and his buddies from Dope House went and picked up the two 14-year-olds. What does that show the court? What does that show people? Oh, shit. He just barely got out on bond and he's doing it again. He couldn't wait to go fucking chomoing. He took that fucking chance and he got popped. To me, he got set up. The cops set him up and he fucking fell for it. And his homies that were with him too, he needs to check them because they probably were in it too, because it doesn't mention who the fuck was with them. And it doesn't mention that they got in trouble either. They just popped SPM. Nobody else got charged with that except for him. But he had a room full of his homies and nobody else got charged. What a fucking coincidence, right? All those vatos over there are cutthroat. Half of them fools over there are fake as fuck. They're not friends. You know? And half of them that are there are new kids. New artists. I don't even know them. So I'm not even going to speak on them. You know? I don't even know who's Dope House anymore. You know? And if I was an artist, I wouldn't want to associate with that kind of record label. Even though the label itself and the people that worked it had nothing to do with what he did, he still smut that name. He fucked that name up. It's forever going to be like smeared. Everybody's always going to associate it with child abuse and rape and shit like that. And fucking a chomoing. But, I mean, if he gets out, fine. Fuck him. It's not going to make a difference. He's not going to do shit. He's not going to be able to do shit. There's going to be all these restrictions on him. He's going to be another Joe Lopez. Joe Lopez swore up and down when he got out, he was going to go touring. Where's he at now? Have you heard from him? Has he put out any more songs? No. Because people said, man, fuck this dude. Even the people that were waiting out for him. He still might have a couple of loyal fans. He might do a show here and there. But he's not as big as he was when he fucking went in. They even he had some award that they gave him. They took that shit right back from him. Oh, hell no, man. We're not going to give him fucking child molester no goddamn award. I don't give a fuck how much of a badass fucking Tejano singer you were. Fuck you, man. Same thing's gonna happen to SPM. He might get out. He might have the momentum, but he's gonna have so many restrictions. He's not gonna be able to go here and there like he thinks he is. He's been in there 20 years. Things have fucking changed. The game has changed. The rap styles, everything's different now. To me, his raps are whack. And they're even fucking whacker now. There's other artists out here. It's time for them to take over the game. He's going to be like 50. If he gets out, he's going to be 52 years old. I'm 49. I'm not that much younger than he is, man. Imagine me trying to fucking rap. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? At least I fucking admit it. Imagine me trying to fucking rap. Imagine me trying to fucking say I'm going to take over the world. You're going to fucking laugh at me. You're going to say, hey, Grandpa, stop before you have a heart attack. Same thing with that motherfucker. He ain't shit. Homeboy's older than me. Why do you think whenever he makes a post or whenever somebody makes a post of him, they don't put current pictures of him? He only posts pictures of him when he was like fucking 30 years old, 20 years old. Why is that? Because he's not stupid, man. He's a marketing genius. That fool's not stupid. Why do you think his records are still selling? Why do you think people are still all over his jock and mentioning his fucking name? Why do you think he keeps popping up, man? He's paying Feria for that shit. He's got the fucking algorithm going. He's got all these youngsters on TikTok. Oh my God, please free SPM. He's the GOAT and this shit and that. He ain't shit, man. That vato ain't shit. There was rappers before him, and there's gonna be rappers after him. Matter of fact, he wasn't the first rapper out of Houston. He wasn't the first Mexican rapper out of Houston, man. The first one to come out before him was Grim from Aggravated, from the Southeast Latin sector, man. He was the first one to come out. Then SPM came out. And there were two different styles. When Grim first came out, he was all about the Chicano pride shit. He was down with the Jales. he was down with the movement and stuff like that. SPM, when SPM came out, SPM copied the style of Screwed Up Click and them guys. DJ Screw. That's what he copied his style from, because before that, if you didn't know, he used to be a Christian rapper. He did Christian rap, and he didn't make it. Well, I mean, he was known like within the Christian community, but he wasn't making any money. What he wanted to do was make money. So he saw these guys, you know what I'm saying, these black dudes from over there from South Park. They were making it, man. South Park was popping back then. Screwed Up Click, all them fools. They were, even though I don't really like that kind of music, they were really doing something, you know. They were doing something different. They put screw music, Houston music, what you know now as Houston music. They're the ones that started that shit. Because before that, it was fools like the Ghetto Boys, Gangster Net. You know what I'm saying? The Botany Boys. And them dudes from Port Arthur, UGK. There was no such thing as Screw and Chop and all that stuff like there is now, like that. The stuff, the way it is now, you know. To me, the real gangster shit, it's always gonna be Ghetto Boys. I'll fucking listen to some Ghetto Boys over and over. But as far as Mexican rap, I really geared more towards like the California rap, man, that Chicano rap. To me, that's real Mexican rap. Not, to me, like the rappers here from Houston, I don't know, they got a different style. They try to copycat. They just stick to the roots, basically, man. I'll just put it to you that way. I mean, not to take anything away from them, because there's some out there that are pretty good, man. I like that chick, I Am Lopez. She's pretty dope. I mean, I don't really listen to a lot of new stuff. I'm an old school fool, man. So, but she's good. She's damn good. There's people out there that are just good, man. That are just better, way better than fucking SPM. SPM's little nursery rhymes from the early 2000s were good for their time, but that's about it. I mean, that time's come and gone, man. He had a fucking chance. Maybe he could have fucking conquered the world, man. Maybe he could have took over the whole fucking game, but he fucked it up for himself. Because he couldn't keep his hands away from little girls. There's just too much evidence out there against him that point to like he fucking did it. Because there's people coming forth now left and right. You might say, well, why now? You know, 20 years later. Why not back then? Well, I mean, my answer to that is I don't know. I knew back then that I liked him for a reason. I didn't know what the reason was. He just gave me bad vibes. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, to answer you guys' question, I don't know if he got granted parole or not, because they're taking their time. Because it is a serious case. And they want to be careful about it. They don't want to release him out. Because a child molester is always going to reoffend. And he's already proven that, because he proved that to the court system, because he went and picked up the two 14-year-old girls while he was out on bond. He was over there being all cocky and shit, wearing those silk shirts looking like The Rock and shit, and fucking big old rings and cord with baggy shorts, and acting all cocky and laughing at the cops and this shit and that. He fucking asked for it. You already know the fucking district attorney and the judge and all them, they're looking at you stupid. And you want to act all cocky like you're going to beat the case. Like you're fucking John Gotti or fucking or somebody that fucking the Godfather or something. You're none of that. You're just a rapper. You're an actor. You're a motherfucking studio motherfucking gangster. That's what you are. And you want to pretend like you're a for real gangster, man? Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Este vato. I mean, we all know that half of the rappers are full of shit. Half of these rappers probably never really been on the streets. Especially the new ones. Especially the ones that wear dresses and carry purses and shit. Or that fucking dude 6ix9ine. Oh my god, man. What the fuck happened there? How did we go from fucking holding from gangster rappers fucking holding AKs and shit to fucking wearing fucking Skittles in their hair, looking like Rainbow Bright and shit, and fucking those fucking skinny ass pants, man. I never understood why vatos wear skinny jeans like that. I grew up in the 80s and they were popular back then, but fuck that shit, I never wore them motherfuckers. Man, hell no. Never will. Never did, never have, never will, you know? But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't think he's getting out. I don't think he's getting out. I don't think SPM's getting out, but I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a fucking crystal ball. I can't predict the future. The judge might wake up in a good mood tomorrow and say, you know what, fucking let him go. And there you go. Then we'll find out through social media, just like we find about everything else, right? If he does get out, man, I know I talk a lot of shit about that fool. And so do a lot of other people. A lot of people talk shit about him, man. If he does get out, I hope that he gets his mind right. That he stays humble. That he goes home. Be with his wife. You know what I'm saying? I hope he does the right thing. Stay home, be humble. Give up the rap game, because that shit's over for you, homie. The SPM's rap game is over, bro. I mean, it's just not gonna be the same. It's just like when Most Hated did that video of Low Life. What the fuck? 26 years later, you made a video? Or 20-something years later, you made a video of that song? You should have done that shit back then. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, to me, he's not gonna get out. I mean, do I want him to get out? Part of me, no. But part of me says, goddamn, you know, he's been in there long enough. I know if I would have been locked up for fucking 20-something years, I would have learned my fucking lesson. I would have fucking kissed the parole board's ass, and I would have said, you know what the fuck? Yeah, man, I fucking did it. I want to go home. But see, he can't admit it, because then that means that he has to admit that he's been lying to his fans. And he doesn't want to do that because he wants to stay on top. He's a egotistical motherfucker. He's like Madonna. They want to stay young forever. They want to stay relevant. But like I said, I don't think he's getting out this year or next. Maybe in 26 he might. But he needs to play his cards right, because if he keeps putting up this persona that he's this fucking tough guy, that he's innocent and he's better than everybody else, he's gonna have to fucking serve his full term, man. And if that happens, he won't get out to 2047. If he makes it. That's a long time from now. We probably won't even, some of us probably won't be around to see that. Think about it. If you really want to come home, man, I would say, you know what, fuck yeah, you know what, I did it, man. You know, even though I, you know, something. Kiss all kinds of ass. You know what I'm saying? Even if I was innocent, I'd lie or some shit. I want to go home. But it seems to me like he really doesn't want to go home. While he's in there, he could play the martyr. This guy that was falsely accused. He could play the role, you know, and keep his album sales up. The fame. The legacy. But what for? There's no legacy worth 23 years or 47 years of your life. And if it gets out, fine. Oh well. I never said that I was gonna beat him up or call him out for a fade or fucking put a cap in his ass. None of that. I never said that. I mean, I don't think anybody has. At least I haven't heard anybody make threats towards him or anything. He's gonna be too old. He's gonna be old. He needs to humble the fuck up and get his ass out. He doesn't have to rap anymore. He can stay behind the scenes and run his company. I give him that, man. His company's, he's been in prison all that 23 fucking years and his company's still going. I gotta give him credit for that. But anyways, no. I'm here in Houston. I'm gonna go check tonight the website. I'm gonna check a couple other sources. If I find something, I'll post it. But there's not much out there. I mean, if it is true that they're reviewing it, oh, man, it's gonna take a long time. I'll tell you that right now. Because Houston, Texas, they take their fucking sweet time to do shit. They really do. They don't give a fuck. They'll make your ass wait a year sometimes before they come up with a decision on anything. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I will continue with my life just like everybody else will. I still won't bump his shit. I still won't support him. I never will support him. I always will forever to the day I die know that man did that shit. Because he keeps doing it over and over. Different people keep coming forward. And I even heard that his sister knows some shit about him. She just doesn't want to say anything, but that's her brother, you know. Of course not. She's not going to fucking snitch on her own brother. But there's some bad blood there. That's all I know. And there's a lot of people out there that are after him. Because either he didn't pay them or he made them lie. He made these people lie for him. This whole fucking entire time. Because there's people out there that were with them back then that probably already knew what was going on the whole entire time but just didn't want to say shit. They didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to snitch. But it's been 20-something years, and some of these people are saying, you know what, fuck, man, you know what? I was scared. I saw him with some young girls. There's a couple of people that have came out already, said that they seen him hanging around with young little girls wearing kid shoes. Kids. Those shoes were made for 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds and shit. And they were saying that he was walking around with these kids like he had no shame. No shame at all. He is a cocky son of a bitch. He's a piece of shit. He's a cheater. He cheated on all his wives. He fucking backstabbed all his homies. He was fucking his best friend's wife. There were some homies that he never paid. He cheated them on their contract. Juan Gotti is one of them. Lucky Luciano's another one. I Am Lopez is another one that he tried to fuck over. But people are not going to believe that. They're going to believe SPM because he's popular. Being popular don't mean shit. I know fools like that right now that are popular and they're faker than a motherfucker. I'm not going to mention any names, but you already know. If you know, you know. If you know me, you already know. There's a guy out there that I know that was never about it. Now all of a sudden he's with it. He's about that. Whatever, man. Can't stand fools that fake the funk. Can't stand that shit, but, you know. I'm not a snitch, so I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to drop any names, but we all know people like that. SPM, he's one of them, if not the main one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's enough of my rant. As soon as I find something out, I'll post it. But sooner or later, I'm going to get tired of this shit. I'm already starting to get tired of talking about him. I'm going to have to find something else to do. I'll probably go back to DJing or doing some historical stuff. Something positive instead of fucking wasting my energy on this fucking clown. All right, Raza. I'll talk to you later.